Turn it up. It's Sports Day with Dan Day.
Christmas has come early. If you are a sports fan, today, one of the best sports days of the year. And since it's such a big, ginormous, exciting sports day, pardon the pun, I am Dan Day, by the way, with my cousin Vladimir Louison, we have decided to bring in the reinforcements. That's right. Daniel Solana, who usually is our Inter Miami expert, was joining us via phone and then said, you know what, I'm just going to come on in and make it happen with my family right here on Sports Day. So we bring in Daniel Solana. So happy to have you. You're not just talking Inter Miami today. We've got college football playoffs. We've got NFL football. We have got Miami Hurricanes basketball, Heat basketball. Panthers played last night. Vlad, you were all over that one. They play tomorrow. It's Christmas.
Sports meal, man.
It's Hanukkah.
Sports giving.
It's sports everything. Plus, Inter Miami's got about 50,000 different things going on, so we had to bring Solana in. Solana, you were even at the Heat game last night. You had a nice little parlay going, and then tell us about
my parlay hit.
Yeah, let's not really talk about my parlays. You know, I hit one, but I can't believe what happened with Jimmy Butler last night. I had Butler, I had Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I had Tyler Hero over 15 points. Jimmy, come on, buddy. Jimmy. What happened?
Wait, you got Jimmy 17.5?
Not just 15.
Everybody. No, Tyler, he had 15. Did he have everybody at 15?
Everybody was 15. Yeah, man. I hit Shea. I hit Tyler. Jimmy decided to get sick.
Oh. Now, that's the question, guys. I asked Dan right before the show started. Was he sick or was it the rolled ankle? Because if you're sick, you can take an aspirin or something and then get back in the game. Now, if you roll the ankle, and it's a little, you roll the ankle, you can come back, or you may sit him down because there's a game tomorrow and then you want to get him back as healthy as you can. But if it's just a sickness, I don't know, bro. It was just shaky. That to me kind of felt like it was some excuses being made.
I just believe what they tell me. It's one of those things.
Which is wrong.
And I know Jimmy can be kind of shifty like that, but I believe they said he had the flu. They said he was sick. I don't think Jimmy's not trying to play. That's just me personally. I don't buy into the conspiracy.
If you're sick, don't come play. I don't want the rest of the team to get sick.
Don't put him up on the Hard Rock app if he's sick.
Yeah, that's a personal thing right there. But nonetheless, Jimmy Butler, we don't know. They're saying he's possibly making the trip to Orlando tonight, so we'll see. Don't bet on him, Solana. Please don't.
No, I won't. Not tonight. I mean, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Or what is it? I don't know.
Is it fool me once, shame on you? Fool me twice, shame
on me.
There you go. You're right.
All right, let's get into all the goodness because throughout the day, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Dolphins. We're going to talk a little about Inter Miami. We're going to just talk about the life that we are living here in South Florida sports-wise. So great. Let's start things off. Notre Dame defeated Indiana 27-17 last night to open up the college football playoffs. Right now, you're about to get Penn State and SMU, followed by Clemson and Texas at 4. Then at 8, Tennessee and Ohio State. I'm here to tell you, Penn State, if they're the favorite, they win. If they're not, they lose. Penn State pencil them in. They're going on to the next round.
That's what you think? You think Penn State is going to go on to the next round? I don't know, man. My question is, where's UM? Where is UM in all this? I mean, I know we got SMU. I know we got Clemson in there. But where is UM? Is UM going to really, have to deal with the Pop-Tart Bowl?
It's going to be the Pop-Tart Bowl against Iowa State.
I mean, I guess it's a good matchup, man. I mean, Vlad, good matchup. But, I mean, I think all the UM fans wanted to see the Hurricanes in the college football playoffs, especially after seeing last night's
game.
They
messed up. Therefore, I don't want to hear anything about it.
This is my thing about
Canes fans got to stop. We got to stop complaining. We had the chance. Because now, yesterday I thought about it really, really thoroughly. I'm like, all we had to do was get to the ACC championship game. Even if you lost the ACC championship game, you're going to get inside the college football playoffs. So all you had to do is just win one game. So whether it was the Syracuse game or the Georgia Tech game, you had a chance to win. You didn't win. Yeah. You have nobody to blame but yourself.
I've got no problem with that, and I understand. You're going to have to learn from your mistakes, and you're going to have to tighten it up next year. I'm hoping that we can get the quarterback situation straightened away. Emory Williams, maybe your quarterback next year. There's also a guy over there in Cal that played at Columbus High School, and Mario Cristobal has that connection there. But the thing with me is this: I wouldn't have let SMU. And if SMU can't beat Clemson, and Clemson's the weakest team in the college football playoffs, why should they be in there? And I'm not saying that Miami should have been in their place, but I'm saying SMU, they kind of played their way out of it. But
No, they didn't.
they can't beat Clemson, the worst team in the playoff.
What do you mean the Clemson? How is Clemson the worst team?
They're the 12th ranked team. They have the 12th seed.
Okay, that's because they were going by rankings and they were an ACC champion, right? Like one of those 5 teams, one of those conference title winners were gonna have to play a playoff game. Okay, fine. Clemson lost to who? But at least Clemson lost to people. They lost to Georgia in the first game of the season.
That was bad.
Okay, but then they came back. Like, I have no problem with that. All Miami had to do was just win.
So
they did it.
If Miami loses those 2 games that they lost to Georgia Tech and Syracuse earlier in the season, do they still get into the college football playoff, you think? They'd have a much better chance, I think. They would have.
I think so. I think they do, but I think at the end of the day, the Syracuse game is really what cooked them at the end of the day. They needed to win that game in order to get into the ACC championship. Get it there, like Vlad said, and I think obviously you're in the college football playoff. I don't think there would have been any doubt, even if they would have lost to SMU in the ACC championship game. But guys, it's college football. Bowl season is here, and unfortunately, Hurricanes are not part of it. But we do have some great games, like you mentioned, Dan, on the schedule today. Which one of those are you most excited for? I know you talked a little bit about Penn State, but like you said, there's some really good games. What are you most excited for?
I'm really looking forward to Tennessee, Ohio State. I want to see which one of those teams is the real deal because I feel as though one of those is going to be exposed as not a phony, but not top notch, and the other one will. Vlad, who are you looking at?
I am looking at the Tennessee Ohio State game. I think it's time for Ryan Day to go. So I think if Tennessee beats Ohio State, I think Ryan Day might get fired.
God, really?
Yeah.
With all the success that he's had at Ohio State.
And here's the thing: the team we were just talking about. I think Clemson's covering against Texas.
Okay.
I think Clemson will cover. Here's the thing: Dabo's got experience in this. And this is like Dabo's FU to everybody.
Big game Dabo, and he likes beating SEC.
Right. Even though college football playoff first season, it's an inaugural season, and he's in it.
And it's his chance to say, we do it our way, and it works.
That's why I gave Saban so much credit last year. When the NIL started happening, he was talking about he didn't like it and everything. He still got into the college football playoff. It was his way of saying, you know what? I can play this game and still be successful. But I don't want to. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Dabo is doing this right now. Let me tell you, if Clemson somehow wins the national title, we can never say anything about that man. We can't. His legacy solidified. But to be the guy who still doesn't want to get involved with the transfer portal, NIL, and all of that,
right?
If he wins and he beats all these big boys, it's a big statement for the ACC.
He can't say anything,
and it's a big statement for Dabo.
Kudos if he wins. He won't, but just kudos. Tua Tagovailoa dealing with a hip injury, but expected to play tomorrow at 1 when the Dolphins face the 49ers. That's going to be a 4:25 kickoff. I have this feeling, and we'll talk about the playoff scenarios and everything for the Dolphins. But the Dolphins, I think they're going to win out. I really think so.
Win out what?
The rest of their games. Next 3 games. 49ers, Browns, and Jets.
I think they'll win tomorrow, and then they're losing in the cold. They can't win in the cold, bro.
There's a lot of people like on Miami-ian. You've seen this play out before. December, old Dolphins, they got a shot?
No shot. No, I mean, come on, man. It's like 68 degrees this morning in Miami. You've got everybody wearing these like huge jackets, and you've got the UGG boots out. So I would love to see what the players are going to wear. To the game tomorrow. It's going to be cold. If they dress up nice and cold, but look, we know that the Dolphins haven't been able to be successful in cold weather games probably since I've been born. It's been 39 years. I don't think we've won many cold weather games. So I got to go with Vlad on this one. I don't think they're winning out.
Today at 1 o'clock, NFL action, because the NFL does what they want to do. College football playoffs be you know what. We're playing. It's Saturday. Conference championships are over. You get the Texans and the Chiefs. That's a juicy one coming up at 1, and then at 4:30 you get the Ravens and the Steelers. Another really good one right there. Texans and Chiefs. Oh man, you've seen this play out so many times. Patrick Mahomes, he's hobbled. He's got a bad knee. The Chiefs will be down most of the game. They're going to find a way to get up by 2 or 3 at the very end of the game, and they're going to hold on to a win. Ravens and Steelers, every week you keep saying the shoe's going to drop on the Steelers. Watch the Ravens blow out the Steelers, and lo and behold, the Steelers just keep winning. So I have faith the Steelers are going to play a great game today. And the Ravens, they're so good, but they're so beatable sometimes, it seems like. What's going on there?
I don't know, man. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dan.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, the Ravens have probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league in Lamar Jackson. You know, you would expect them with him and his play and having Derrick Henry, that workhorse back there, that they're going to win almost every game. But I think it's their
defense stinks.
Their defense. There it is.
They may be missing your boy Anthony Weaver. And they definitely missing their the Seattle head coach, who was the defensive coordinator last year, Mike McDonald. Their defense stinks. This is crazy. The Ravens' identity did a 360. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it went from defense, you know, smash mouth, always running the ball, to now being in high-powered offense that's going to lead them to victory. Yeah. So that's why it's weird. It's a total identity.
What do you go with today? Do you go with the NFL game or the college game, or do you go with both?
I'm going with the NFL game.
You're going to go with the NFL game? Okay.
Which is an argument that people were making why would college football go against the NFL. It's not college football's fault.
No,
it's the NFL's. It's the line. Like, dude, they just coming over your land and take over your pride. Like, that's what they did.
The NFL does what they want to do. Christmas Day was sacred to the NBA.
Not anymore.
Come on, we're gonna put one game. Ooh, that one game did well. We're gonna put 2. Soon enough, this is gonna be another day of football.
Dude, you know, I mean, I didn't realize it until they started like promoting it. It is really a holiday week of games.
Yeah,
you start from today. You got the full week tomorrow, Monday night. Then you got 2 games Wednesday, and then you have a prime game on Thursday, and then more games on Saturday, following Saturday.
And don't forget the Christmas Day games are on Netflix this year.
And then Netflix,
Ooh,
right?
Even better for me. I get to watch Mike Tyson and Jake Paul and football on my Netflix.
And the WWE in 2 weeks.
Oh, WWE in 2 weeks. And I'm watching this new series. I don't know if it's on Netflix or not. It's Ray Romano. He's like a drug dealer or something, and his wife kills her brother. It's crazy.
That's Netflix, man. Well,
is that Netflix? I don't know. I'm walking the room.
That sounds like Netflix and chill with your girl. That's what it sounds like.
That sounds like me stumbling in at 2 a.m. and it just happens to be on that too.
Well, Netflix and chill. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what the Dolphins are gonna do tomorrow.
It don't stop, baby. The Kings men's basketball team. We're about to find out what they're gonna do when they host Mount St. Mary at 2:00. Vlad, you're gonna be helping out with that game. 1:30 is the pregame. We're gonna lead you up to that.
Yeah, they should win. If they don't win out,
well, the women's team.
Oh, they're in the Bay, right?
Quietly doing very well. They defeated Oregon State at Maui.
Oh, right, in the Northwest. Okay, yes.
They're 11-1 on the season.
And the Twins came back, right?
Oh, the Cavender Twins are playing.
Oh, we got to go to a game.
Well, I'm down, man. Look, I'm always down. Go to Titanic, have a few drinks.
Yeah, I love Titanic.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I love that arena. I took my son earlier this year when the Canes men's team played the first regular season game. My son had a fantastic time.
Oh,
Great family atmosphere in that arena. I mean, if you want, you can get a beer in the arena. It's all good. But just like Dan said, I mean, there's no better place to pregame for a UM basketball game or a UM baseball game over there at Alex Rodriguez Stadium than Titanic.
All right.
You got to stop at Titanic.
2025, I am going to a UM baseball game.
Oh, we're all
and I'm going to have a Joe Zagacki ice cream. I'm sorry. Dude, I'm always doing the games. You know what I mean?
I'm too healthy.
I'm always doing the games, at least when they were, we were broadcast. I'm always doing the games, so I haven't been able to go to. But, dude.
I'm going to take you and I'm going to buy you an Omaha Express. If you go to a UM baseball game, you got to have an Omaha Express. I mean, that's just the shake that you got to have at Mark Like Shakes. I mean, there's no other one that you can go with.
I like the fact that I have no problem wolfing down like 5 stouts at Titanic before the game, but ice cream? No, that's not healthy. I'm watching my figure, Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We're gonna do that one of these games, man. It'll be a treat. It'll be awesome. Heat. Oh, they fell to the Thunder 104-97 last night. Turnaround. Today they play the Orlando Magic up in Orlando. That is going to be a 7:00 tip.
I hit parlay. Second half parlays were great. Once I knew that Jimmy was gone and the Thunder were 3.5, I took the Thunder at 3.5.
Jimmy questionable for tonight. Panthers.
Well, I'm sorry. Orlando's got a couple of injuries themselves, so this game should be very, very
Their
good.
3 leading scorers are injured.
Oh, that's right. Jalen Suggs just got hurt.
Yeah.
He can't lose this game tonight. Nah, this is a must-win game for them.
Yeah. They need to stop middling. They've been middling for 2 years now, and they're middling again this year. And Jimmy's not playing that much. And Panthers, though, they're not middling. They're simply the best. They're winning in different ways all the time. They beat the St. Louis Blues 2-1 last night in overtime. Alexander Barkov got the winning goal. The Cats, they head across the state to play Tampa Bay tomorrow at 5.
Our local team, I like this. This is holiday beef weekend. Like, you just go see, your rivals, your op.
The holidays are known for getting into fights with your family.
Absolutely.
So you might as well do it in your sports world.
Absolutely. So, yeah, that's right. Lightning, Panthers, Magic, Heat. Let's do it.
And we're going to get into this now. That's why we have Daniel Solani here for a multitude of reasons. But his main reason, Leo Campana, kind of tearing up a little bit. He's been traded to the New England Revolution for a record domestic deal, $2.5 million. Inter Miami, they opened the season January 18th versus Liga MX America at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Leo Campana, my all-time favorite Inter Miami player. Not anymore.
Not anymore, Dan. Now he is your new favorite player for the New England Revolution.
My new favorite Inter Miami, well, not new. My favorite Inter Miami player now is Luis Suarez.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That is a lovely, lovely shirt. And that's why you got to lay off the ice cream so that shirt will fit you. It looks good, man. It's a nice fit. So, I mean, honestly, I've got the Inter Miami shirt on too, as all of you that are watching us on YouTube can see. And dude, we're going to talk some Suarez now.
We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it in a few minutes. But I do want to say this. FCS semifinals begin today at noon. South Dakota State and North Dakota State. That's another rivalry, Vlad. And then at 3:30, South Dakota plays Montana State.
Dude, you know what?
I got skin in this game, bro.
Oh, you got skin?
My uncle was the dean of art at South Dakota for decades, and my family lives up there in Yankton, in South Dakota.
Now
Yankton.
it all
it's in Vermilion, though.
It all makes sense now, Vlad. It
all
makes sense.
I'm not betting on the game. I'm just proud. Speaking of pride, let's real quick take.
We have one big event tonight.
We got the fight.
You can't front on the fight, man. We can't front on the fight.
I mean, is it going to be a?
It's going to be good because he's weighing 281 pounds. The last time he weighed that heavy was the second fight against Wilder. Do you remember what he did to Wilder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time these two guys fought, is it Fury and
Usyk? Usyk for the title.
Pounded him into the ground, though, didn't he?
Usyk got hands. You know what? For a heavyweight, he's got some hands.
Let me qualify that. I like Tyson Fury as a fighter. Some of the things he does, you can question, but he's been to that dark mental place.
He does too.
He ain't scared of nobody. Yeah. Well, he's
He
the
did
Gypsy
too.
King. There's something about that gypsy lifestyle that, impresses me. I love it.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's a partier.
I'm a step away from the gypsy lifestyle.
That explains.
They let me into they let me into the bohemian community, but they haven't let me into the gypsy. That's a different world, man.
Yeah, he smoked. He was doing hard drugs, drinking.
He almost. I mean, he almost
ate himself out, out of shape.
He almost ended it too. And
yeah,
that's why he says he doesn't fear anything ever, because he's been to the darkest of the darkest places and came back. Nothing else can scare him. That's why he could step into the ring with Wilder and go blow for blow and be fun. Pardon the pun, blow for blow, and keep it going, man.
Look, I'm just glad his brother beat one of the Paul brothers. I mean, that's all I'm glad about. I mean, honestly. Going back to that Mike Tyson fight, we don't have to review it, but that was just an absolute disaster. And so I'm glad that Fury's brother was able to beat the other Paul brother, because
Tommy.
Yeah, nobody likes the Paul brothers. So.
Hey,
thank you, Daniel.
Hey,
I'm not gonna knock their, but you see, even though I may not like them, I can't knock their hustle.
Oh yeah, dude, they are juiced to the gill. Like, how can you take that many steroids?
As long you can take as much HGH as the body will allow you.
Oh my God!
Look, give him credit. Look at what's the next big fight: Logan Paul versus Conor McGregor.
Oh yeah, man, I'm gonna be so torn because I'm half Irish, so I gotta cheer for McGregor. But then I like the Paul brothers. I don't know, but I like Jake more because he's more. I don't know. We'll get into it. Let's take a step into the day spa. Get this, a funeral home in Ohio has applied for a liquor license.
Absolutely.
I mean, now you don't have to sneak it in. That's a genius.
That's huge.
Everybody gets loaded at funerals usually.
Talk about making extra cash.
Wait. Funeral home?
A funeral home.
That's fantastic.
Not a senior citizen.
No.
living home.
A funeral home.
A funeral home.
All right, I'm just
So
saying.
so you don't have to now go out to the car and or Vlad, you seem very reticent on this idea.
I know that there's a lot of weirdos out there, bro.
Imagine
You've heard stories.
you hear stories of being drunk and picking up a girl at a bar. Imagine the story of getting drunk and picking up a girl at a funeral.
We've seen it.
Oh,
We've seen it at Wedding Crashers, baby. We've seen the movie.
That's all right.
We've seen the movie, and it works, apparently.
oh yeah, grief loving, baby.
Grief love is good.
That's not bad. Oh, nice. You know what's good? The Dolphins. Well, no, it's not good chances. Dolphins do still have mathematically a chance to make it into the playoffs. We're going to take a look at the game tomorrow.
What kind of chance do they have?
We're going to look at it. We're going to look at it real quick, and then we're going to get into some Inter Miami stuff on the third segment of this break. We're only with you an hour and a half, but we're loaded to the gills on one of the biggest sports day of the year. Daniel Solana, Mike Cousin, Vladimir Louison, Dan Day. This is Sports Day 560 WQAM. Back on Sports Day 560 WQAM. With my cousin Vladimir Lewis, another one of our family members, Daniel Solana. I am Dan Day. This is kind of like Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus for the rest of us, Krampus.
I love
Sports Day.
Festivus for the rest of us.
There's just everything going on today. What's not going on? College football playoffs, pro football.
Baseball is the only thing that's not going on today.
We got to get some baseball action.
But there might be
South
some
Korean or something like that.
There might be some free agency or trades that might happen. Free agent signings.
Who
knows?
I got you. And Daniel, I don't know how big of a Marlins fan you are, but Vlad and I are huge Marlins fans.
Huge Marlins fan.
Okay, you want to start coming every single midweek game, like at noon? Vlad and I go.
I'm in.
I got the tickets.
Yeah, come through.
We meet here, maybe make a little stop at Jensen's liquor store.
Oh, it's not maybe. We're definitely making a stop at Jensen's liquor store.
Hey, I work in downtown now, fellows. So I'm literally just a little Miami-Dade transit bus away. So I'll meet you in front of the
we'll pick
stadium.
you up, baby.
Oh, man, you get to see my favorite officer.
Oh, Officer Perez. Oh, my goodness. The Marlins did sign infielder Eric Wagaman to a one-year contract. The 27-year-old made his Major League Baseball debut last year with the Angels for 18 games, but Vidal Brujan has been designated for assignment. So that's a little baseball news if you need some. But, man, you got major implications to the playoffs today with the football games. Of course, Kansas City, they're already in. Don't worry about them. The only team that can beat them is the Bengals, and the Bengals aren't probably making the playoffs, so rest easy that they make the Super Bowl. Texans, they're already in. We'll see how that goes.
Gentlemen, have you ever heard of a 13-1 team
that's as shaky as
that everybody?
And they're not shaky.
And they're not shaky because here's the thing: this is the same. They're playing the same exact way they did in 2022 and 2023. And guess what? They have a better record than those they did.
Look at that picture. They have a baby video of Patrick Mahomes, and look what's in the background.
Oh, ketchup?
No, a 24-pack of Bud Light.
Oh, yeah. Yo, come on. Pat Mahomes Sr., come on, man.
His dad is a boozer, man.
Well, was. He's in rehab. He's been 8 months sobriety.
Oh, I thought when he last got arrested, he said, I ain't changing for nobody.
No. He had to change.
Congrats to him then. That's fantastic news. I mean, we love people recovering. So congrats.
Yeah. If you've noticed something with the Mahomes families, they've been quiet.
Yeah, they have been quiet.
You haven't heard anything from the goofy
Jackson,
brother. And Mrs. Mahomes has learned to just stay out of the spotlight. Maybe Taylor's spotlight just overshadowed her.
Brittany got a good look on that QB1 or whatever the show, that QB show. She actually kind of had a remake of her personality and stuff on that.
One thing I will say, she's a good mother. She's pregnant right now, so she probably knows, step back in the background, be ready. Don't risk the health of the third child. Cool.
Yeah.
But 13-1 they are.
But all the teams playing today basically are in the playoffs.
Yes.
I mean, the Ravens haven't clinched. They're going to find a way to clinch.
Here's the thing, though, Dan. You might want to root for the Steelers.
I am rooting for the Steelers.
But there's a reason why you're rooting for the Steelers.
All right.
Because you need the Ravens to lose.
Okay.
You need the Ravens to lose out.
Daniel, Vlad, give me a second to catch my breath before I run through the scenarios to get the Dolphins into the playoffs. Whew. First of all, you got to win out. That's 49ers at home tomorrow, and you never know with the 49ers. They do have a good defense. If they play, some of the guys walk off the team. They got injuries. Then you've got the Cleveland Browns, whoever's going to be Dorian Scott, Finney Thompson, 15-name quarterback, could be the quarterback. You actually catch a break because Jameis Winston, if he shows up and actually plays good and prays to the Lord, he can actually beat you.
But number one question, what will the temperature be?
It's going to be probably a cold game in Cleveland. And then if you win those two games, you get a Jets team in New York City, or not New York City, New Jersey, on most likely January 5th.
Yeah, a Jets team
is playing well. It's playing better.
Playing better, but let's not forget. I mean, we mentioned in the first segment, Dolphins have a tough, job winning in the cold weather, but they've played, in end of November, beginning of December, the last 5 years in New York or in New Jersey, in Meadowlands.
40-degree
and they've
weather.
won 3 out of 5.
40-degree weather.
They've won 3 out of 5, lad. So
40-degree weather.
I'm starting to change my mind. Dan Day is starting to change my mind.
Dan, what will the temperature be on January 5th if they look that far ahead? If they look 21 days, or
it's probably going to be in the 30s or something like that.
30s. I can tell you what definitely is going to be. It's going to be in the 30s, low 30s, maybe high 20s with a wind gust of 16 miles.
Chance to change the narrative, baby.
Change what narrative? But even if you do beat the Jets in a cold weather game, in a meaningless game,
yeah, at least it's something. It means
what do you
something
mean?
there.
No,
You
it
change
doesn't
the
mean,
narrative.
you don't change no narrative.
I mean, at least you've gotten over the mental hump
Mental hump of what?
that you can win in cold weather.
Please.
Here are the averages: 37 high, 23 low.
It was so cold this morning in Miami, man. My blood is so thin. But okay, so let's just say we win out. You go, you beat the Jets, and now
You're gonna win out. How
you
you
need
gonna
some
win
help.
out?
You need some help.
How you gonna win
Let's
out?
break down the help.
How you gonna win out? Tell me how y'all gonna win out.
You're gonna beat
when
the
you
San
had
Francisco
great
49ers?
conditions last Sunday and you laid an egg.
Yeah, but you're not playing any playoff caliber teams.
That was. You see, this is what I love about y'all. You know what I love about y'all? Daniel and
Daniel.
both Daniels. Okay, both Dan and Daniel. Going into that game last week, it was a good team, right? They were a division leader, the Houston Texans, but they're not as good as everybody thinks they are. They're not as good as maybe what the record states. So this is a game the Dolphins should win. And what happened? They laid an egg.
Okay.
So then all of a sudden now the Texans are really a good team. They're better than what we expected. And that's why we lost to them. No. Dolphins are who they are. Your
Okay.
record states who you are.
So you win out, and then you need a little bit of help. Oh, well, when I say a little bit, that's just a term. You need a lot of help.
Dude, it's over. You're not going to the playoffs.
2 Denver losses and a Colts loss. 2 Charger losses and a Colts loss. Because remember, the Colts got that tiebreaker in that terrible game.
So
that
you
we had
need
against them.
3 Colts losses.
I'm not done yet. 2 Denver losses and 2 Chargers losses. I'm not even going to tell you who their opponents are because it's still low. Now, these are my favorites. 3 Baltimore losses and a Colts loss. 3 Baltimore losses and 2 Denver losses. Goodness gracious. 3 Baltimore losses and 2 Charger losses. Chargers, by the way, they close their season New England and Las Vegas.
Oh, pack it up, boys.
We're not done. The Ravens, they do have Pittsburgh, Houston,
And
and
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Okay, there's a possibility because I do think Pittsburgh is going to win today. There's a possibility.
Yeah, but Denver's got Cincinnati, and then they've got the Chiefs, who are most likely going to be 15 or 16-1 going into that game.
Week 18, right? They go talking about Denver Chiefs week 18 in Denver,
That's right.
where Pat Mahomes will be resting because they were ready to clinch the number 1 seed.
Andy Reid doesn't like to rest the players as much. Remember, he played those guys in the preseason.
You know, they play 3 games and they're playing 3 games in 11 days. If they have a chance to win these next 2 games, that's the reason why he's playing today. If they win Saturday and they win Wednesday, he doesn't have to take that field ever again for the next 3 weeks and rest that ankle.
Oh, that's true because they'd have the bye. Yeah, so they're going to have a bye. There's no reason to play him in that game. Okay, now if you're looking for that Colts loss, they finish up against.
They could lose to Tennessee this week.
Tennessee. Who's quarterback there now? Is it you, Daniel Solano?
It's Mason Rudolph.
I think is it
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. I'm just saying, what a terrible.
And that's not laugh because Tennessee beat the Dolphins 2 years ago. So
it was Levis. And he wasn't having a terrible year for what it had. You know, he was having a decent year, and he beat the Dolphins in Miami. So that's a loss that you got to look back on, and it really hurts.
So both years Tennessee broke our back. Nonetheless, the Colts get Tennessee, the New York Giants, and Jacksonville. Wow. Murderer's row right there.
Hey, yo, fam.
No.
Don't do this.
You convinced me.
Don't do this to yourself.
I'm not reading any more scenarios.
And here's the other thing. Even if they somehow, here's the thing. Like I told you guys earlier, for a team that's had bad luck all season, for them to get unbelievable luck like this, like a holiday wish, what? Mike McDaniel sat on Santa's lap and asked Santa to, grant me these 3 wishes? Are you kidding me? They need everybody to lose a minimum of 2 games.
Okay, I'll tell you this.
And they need Indianapolis to lose every game.
Okay, look, I'll tell you this, and we'll end on this, and then we're going to start talking some Inter Miami. My head says no, the Dolphins will not make the playoffs. My heart says no, the Dolphins are not making the playoffs.
I want to play devil's advocate with you guys because obviously the Dolphins have a chance to win out, right? Regardless of making the playoffs or not, they don't play tough teams going down the stretch, right? You've got like Dan said, 49ers today, and next week, who do we play next week? Cleveland.
That's a 4 o'clock afternoon game. It's been moved.
Oh, they turned it to 4 o'clock.
That's what I've heard.
And then
Still
you have
cold.
the Jets. So you have the opportunity to win out. But if you are the Dolphins, do you want to win out, or do you want to maybe lose these 3 games and get a better pick?
That's true, because you've proven you can't beat anybody good in the cold. So what's the point of going up to Kansas City again, or going wherever? Well, you wouldn't go to Kansas City, wherever you'd go in the first round, and just
and where does this leave Mike McDaniel at the end of the day? Because now he's on season number 4 going with Tua, and Tua has proven that he can beat the bad teams, but he can't beat the good teams. I mean, he's leading the NFL in completion percentage. But what does that get you? That's got us 6-8?
6-8. Although he did have that a little rest period on the IR. So now, one team that did do it during the regular season, but not so much in the postseason, was Inter Miami. They've had an interesting week in a couple of days, and we have our expert Daniel Solano with us all hour and a half today. We're going to dive into Inter Miami action next here on Sports Day 560 WQAM.
and made WQAM your favorite station? Do it. Listen to us live or on demand and use the rewind feature to go back and listen to any part of any shows you might have missed.
Not in action right now. Sports in action, but the league, MLS, it is the off season right now. Of course, you got some great Premier League and across the globe, all types of great soccer going on. But just because MLS is in the off season doesn't mean that our Inter Miami Herons have not been making moves. And we are joined by our family member here on Sports Day, Daniel Solana. He's with Battered Herons podcast. He's a regular on the show. Daniel, it's been so crazy. I was so upset, though, this week to find out that my favorite Heron, Leo Campana, has been traded for a record $2.5 million domestically to the New England Revolution. Why did they make the move?
I mean, a lot of reasons. One, he's been on the team now for 3 years. He makes a lot of money. He makes around $700,000 a year. And he was occupying a DP spot, essentially, or a U22 DP spot. And so that frees up Inter Miami, not only with the record money that you said, $2.5 million in general allocation money for the MLS is a huge haul, not including the international roster spot that they got for 2025, which is huge. And not only that, but they got $500,000 in general allocation for 2026 and an additional international roster spot for 2026. So that is an absolute huge haul that will allow Inter Miami $2.5 million extra this year. It'll bring their general allocation money to second overall in the MLS with roughly $5.8 million, just under the St. Louis City SC, who has just about $6 million in general allocation. And for those of you that don't follow the MLS, general allocation is essentially how you're going to sign your players and bring over players like the rumored Neymar, who is coming or who is rumored to come. I've heard from my sources that.
So wait a minute. I love how you say who's rumored to be coming. He's coming. Is it rumored to be? Is he coming or is it rumored to be coming? Can't say rumored to be coming. He's coming.
So last I heard from my source, he's coming. I don't want to go ahead and put myself out there and say he's coming and then he doesn't come. So I'm going to say he's rumored to come. My sources are saying he's coming. Inter Miami is doing everything that they can possibly do to get him in here. But the name that I'm most excited about, guys, is a guy who's been losing a lot of games lately in the EPL playing for Manchester City, and that's Mr. KDB, Kevin De Bruyne. And I can tell you guys, Inter Miami is crazy about signing Kevin De Bruyne. It wouldn't be until June. Remember, guys, if you are participating in the Club World Cup, FIFA is allowing a 10-day transfer window in June to make your transfers. So there are a lot of contracts that are going to be coming to an end here at the end of the European season 2025, 2024, 2025. So be on the lookout. That is a very big name that Inter Miami is interested in bringing over.
And then speaking of that, FIFA Club World Cup, Inter Miami, who are they in the pool with, or at least in the?
Yeah, so Inter Miami gets to play the first game. They are going to host the inaugural game at Hard Rock Stadium against Al Ahly, a club from Saudi Arabia.
Yep. Not Ronaldo. Not Ronaldo's team, right?
No, not Ronaldo's team. They also have Palmeiras, which is a team from Brazil, and one of our former rivals, Orlando City, just sold a Uruguayan player, Facundo Torres, to Palmeiras. Yes. For a really good deal as well. So he will be facing Inter Miami in the Club World Cup. And then the third team in their group is Porto, who is from Portugal, who a lot of folks who watch European soccer should be, very familiar with, has very, very good players. And so, again, not the toughest group. If you look at the rest of the group, you could have had a group like Seattle. Seattle got PSG, Atletico Madrid. I mean, that's absolutely nuts. You could have gotten, like I said, a Real Madrid. You could have gotten a Man City. But I think at the end of the day, it's a group that Inter Miami can get out of if they can, bring in some players to reinforce some of the lines that they need to reinforce for next year.
And I know they have the schedule out next year for Inter Miami. We talked about there's an international friendly against America from Liga MX. That's going to be an interesting one at Alliant Stadium in Las Vegas. Tickets are not cheap, though, man. Woo.
And that's not the first game. So they'll actually be playing, or maybe that is the first game, but they'll be playing another preseason game for all of you folks that are Inter Miami fans. They'll be playing a preseason game against Orlando City. So it'll be a rivalry game. It'll be taking place in Tampa. So I don't know yet if it'll be at Raymond James Stadium or if it'll be at one of the other fields around there. But that has been announced. They also will be playing Brazilian club Flamengo in Brazil, in the Maracanã Stadium for a friendly game as well during the preseason. So a lot of really interesting games coming to a TV or an Apple streaming near you.
And that's interesting that you bring up Flamengo, because that's where Jimmy Butler wants to play whenever he finishes his time with the Heat, whenever that might be. But that's what a lot of these athletic clubs over in foreign countries are. It's not like the Miami Dolphins, the Miami Heat, they're all separate. Like FC Barcelona is known for their soccer team, but they also have a basketball team. They have these athletic groups.
Well, yeah, that's how most of the clubs in all around the world work. It's not so much how it is in the United States, where it's mostly franchises. These are actual clubs, athletic clubs that have basketball teams, women's basketball teams, women's soccer teams, men's soccer teams, gymnastics, handball. I mean, you could probably name any Olympic sport, and these clubs are going to have those sports. It's very different in the United States, where it's franchises. It's not essentially clubs. So, just like you said, Barcelona is very well known for their men's soccer, but they also have a lot of very good players that have come from the basketball team, Pau Gasol being one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know my guy, Nico Mirotic, was there for a while. He might have even left the Pelicans to go play with Metro and somewhere in there. But yeah, Inter Miami really got a lot. What are some of the exciting things as we get ready? Soccer goes on. It never stops. But as the season starts to ramp up pretty early next year.
I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff. Obviously, the MLS Super Draft took place last night. Inter Miami got 2 players in that draft. They picked up with their 82nd overall pick, FIU, Pause Up Papa, Michael Appiah. So they picked him up in the Super Draft. They also had another gentleman that they picked up earlier in the draft with, I believe, the 28th pick, and his name is I'm trying to look it up right here, but I can't get it, so I'll come up with it in a second. But Inter Miami made 2 picks. Obviously, last year, one of their picks was Yannick Bright, who was an absolute revelation for this team last year. And so you're looking at these guys to come in and hopefully give you some sort of similar output that Yannick Bright gave you last year. So that's what, the Inter Miami is going to be looking out of these young guys, coming out of the Super Draft, and we'll see what they can do.
And I really do feel as though Inter Miami, they have another go in them, at least for next year, another chance to maybe not eclipse the numbers they did last year during the regular season, but be pretty similar. Should we expect a similar product from Inter Miami this coming season?
So, Inter Miami is going to be playing a lot of tournaments. Not only are they going to be playing for the MLS Cup, but they're also going to be playing Leagues Cup. They'll also be playing the Champions League, CONCACAF Champions League, and also the Club World Cup. So there's going to be a lot of schedule congestion. One of the biggest things that was talked about, especially amongst a lot of fans, was Inter Miami plays 7 games in the month of May. 7 games in 1 month. So that's almost one game every 4 days, not including if they get past Sporting Kansas City in the CONCACAF Champions League match that they play Kansas City. They would have to play a semifinal match 2 days before the Miami New York Red Bulls game on May 3rd. So again, possibly 8 games in a 1 month calendar, which is a lot of games.
That's
these
basically
guys.
2 games a week.
Yeah,
they're playing 2 games. They're playing 2 games every week. They're playing Wednesday, Saturday.
And your 2 strikers are 37 years old.
And the best players, and you got to figure out, no, it's not even got to. You know that everybody's going to want to see 10 and 9 play.
Absolutely. And then just to update the fans that are watching us, the other player that was selected by Inter Miami with the 52nd overall pick was Bailey Sparks, who is a midfielder from SMU, one of the top colleges for soccer in the United States. So, picking up, both Sparks and Appiah. Appiah is a forward from FIU. He bagged 17 goals, 7 assists in 2022. That was his biggest year. And look, good young players. We got to look for players that they're going to sign now. These next few weeks are going to be very critical for signings. We know Suarez has already resigned. Messi is signed through next year. And like I said, keep an eye out for the guy that rhymes with Bay to be signing sometime over the next few weeks.
There's a guy that rhymes with Bay.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Could be Nay.
Don't say nay.
So you say Baymar, huh? This guy that rhymes with Bay. Okay.
Never know. Never know. We'll see. He did buy $27 million property.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I can't lie. That Campana leaving, yeah, that hurt. That hurt. Like Dan wasn't the only one.
I'm curious. Why did it hurt so much? I'll give you my opinion.
Because he was the guy before the superstars came in. That he was the guy that was kind of holding down the team for a good part.
But he wasn't, because he was bench. He basically was on the bench, and Joseph Martinez was a guy who was leading the attack. And before Joseph Martinez, it was Gonzalo Higuain. So he was always, the guy who was going to replace some of these starters. Now Suarez comes in. So that's 3 consecutive forwards that come in who are north of 32 years old that a young 22-year-old kid can't put on the bench. So that's my issue with him. And if you're making the money that he's making and taking up the roster spot, again, I'm not hating on Campana. I think wonderful person. I think he's got all the talent in the world. And we saw that when he played in the U20 World Cup with Ecuador. We saw the talent that he has. He's just never been able to put it together on the field. Could it be the fact that some of these bigger players overshadowed him and that might have affected him? It could be a possibility for you guys. It could definitely be a possibility. But I think he's going to have a much better year this year in New England, where he doesn't have all the pressure, all the lights that Inter Miami has, and he'll have kind of the chance to just relax, play his game, and show the world what he can do.
Absolutely. And, that's the thing. He was kind of in the shadows of these big guys. And as much as you want, there's not enough time. There's not enough piece of the pie. So we don't wish him the best, but I hope he does have a good career with New England. And whenever he plays Inter Miami, I hope he does absolutely terrible, because I want Inter Miami to win every single game this year. And once again, we talked to you last year. What should the goals for this Inter Miami team be? You say it should be to win everything. This year, we're going to have to scale that back a little bit. You want to win everything, but the FIFA Club World Cup is going to be tough to try to get through teams like Real Madrid, FC Barcelona, Man City, Juventus. That's tough, man.
Well, here's the funny thing, guys. So if you look at the schedule and when the Club World Cup is supposed to take place, the semifinals and the finals are all take place sometime in the beginning of July. If you look at the MLS schedule, MLS has scheduled Miami to face Montreal on July 5th. New England on July 9th. So MLS clearly does not think that Inter Miami is going to make it far in the Club World Cup based on what the scheduling is showing us. But look, I think Inter Miami has a chance to get through the group stage. I think that would be huge. That would be great. Just to get through the group stage would be fantastic, especially with clubs like Porto and Palmeiras, who have won, international hardware before in the past. So those are 2 big clubs, both in South America and Europe, where if you can get some wins or ties and advance, that's huge. But Dan, I know I said you got to win everything, but realistically, I think this year, I think it's got to be MLS Cup and CONCACAF Champions League. Those are the 2 biggest.
They got to win the MLS Cup.
I want to dispel this understanding. People say, the Inter Miami, they had a great season, but they didn't win anything. That's not true. They won the Supporters Shield. They won the regular season, and not only the regular season, but in record fashion.
So you want to have a celebration?
I am having a celebration.
A parade?
How do you win Premier League?
By getting the most points
through the regular season.
Right. And if there wasn't a playoff, I would say, okay, they won the ML, they would have won the MLS. That's it. They would have won the MLS. That's what we would have said.
Here's how I say. I think they won the MLS.
They didn't win the MLS.
They did. The Galaxy.
No, they didn't.
The Galaxy just won the MLS tournament at the end of the year.
No, what's the point of winning the division? What's the point of getting to the top?
It's a season.
No, yeah. No.
I'm not trying to do this like,
you are. Yes, you are.
Not.
Stop. No, they lost.
Thomas Rundgren, if you're listening right now, call in and explain to Vlad that
he don't know. Please. Right. You know what? Then you wouldn't be crying and bitching after they lost.
I'm not.
No,
crying.
I'm not saying you. Fans would have been crying and bitching after they lost to Atlanta. So don't give me that. Stop. I'm sick of y'all when y'all do that. That's like you saying the Dolphins have a chance of making the playoffs.
Hey, but you can't hate on the croqueta plate. Come on, man. You can't hate on the croqueta plate. We got the croqueta plate this year. We got we got the most points that any team has ever gotten before. Not only that.
You know what?
What's up?
Then the Panthers said everybody that wins the President's Cup won the
season.
They won the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then there's not even a point of playing those 2 months with nasty, with no teeth, with broken spleens and ribs.
Different league.
But
No.
I disagree, Vlad, and here's why. And I support the playoffs when it comes to baseball. I support the playoffs when it comes to hockey, when it comes to basketball. I can
Football.
understand why.
Which football?
Well, and also in football americano, I can also support those
But
players.
football.
I can't support the playoffs. Why? Because in football,
Explain to me.
you can play one game and have all your guys just play defense, and you could be the lower seed, and you're gonna beat the higher seed. In basketball, it's a little bit tougher. You're only 5 players. Usually the team that has the top player, the top 2 or 3 players in the series is going to win the series. In baseball, you got a good pitcher, you got some good hitting, you're going to win the series. In football, your quarterback is fantastic. You're going to win the series. But in soccer, it's not down to one player. It's down to 11 players, and not only that, it's down to the coach making substitutions.
Just like in any other sport, bro.
Absolutely not.
Just like in any other sport, it's down to the best player and the coaching. Stop with that, guys. Stop it. Because you know what? All the other sports, before he's finished, all the other sports play a certain amount of games, just like soccer, and then they still have a postseason.
Go tell Man City fans that if Leicester City were to eliminate them, or Liverpool fans who are in first place this year, if Leicester City, who's in 16th, were to eliminate them,
you know what? We're gonna continue this in the next break because you know what? You know why? Because I'm sick and tired of you guys saying that. You know why? If that was the case, then why does everybody want to win a Champions League?
It's because they play it out like that, though.
Champions League.
it's a tournament.
It's a tournament, right?
Yeah, it's a tournament. So do an MLS Cup tournament, which is different than the MLS League.
Please. The MLS Cup tournament would be it's the same thing.
You're looking at it the wrong way.
I'm looking at it the right way.
Don't diminish the Supporters Cup.
I'm diminishing. It's like winning the President's Cup.
We'll be back.
The President's Trophy.
Just go.
station, the home of the three-time NBA champion Miami Heat, the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, the five-time national championship winner Miami Hurricanes, Miami Hurricanes basketball, and Supporters Shield winners Inter Miami.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-7473.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Important show for Sports Day today, although it's a big show with my cousin Vladimir Louison. Daniel Solana joining us. I am Dan Day, getting you ready for the Hurricanes basketball game against Mount St. Mary out of the state of Maryland. Thought they were out of California.
Wait, time out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wait, Mount St. Mary from Maryland?
Yes, sir.
I thought it was Mount St. Mary, California. The one that's like the 15th seed every time back in the days when I was growing up, and might give a 2 seed a scare, but lose in the end.
I did this yesterday.
Really?
I was so confident it was a California student. No, maybe one of it's
maybe we're thinking about St. Mary's.
We're thinking of St. Mary's College.
I think we're thinking of St. Mary's.
Emmitsburg, Maryland is where Mount St. Mary is from.
That's what happened.
You know, something I don't like about that, guys, is they're the Mountaineers. And so is Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech.
No, Virginia Tech's the Hokies. West Virginia is the Mountaineers.
West Virginia is the Mountaineers. I forgot about
You know what I do like about Mount St. Mary's? On some of their imaging, it just says the Mount. Pretty good.
That's their logo. It looks
the logo.
really cool.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. It's a mountain.
We could go many different ways.
But let's not get too deep into the Miami Hurricanes. We're going to hear from them in just a couple of minutes, actually. Man, we've got football action. Penn State is up 14-0.
All right. We might have reached the most critical point of this game. Penn State got the ball and turned the ball over in their own territory. So SMU has the ball. First down, they just ran a play, so it was like 2nd and 5 at the 20.
SMU's knocking on the door.
And in the NFL game that just started, CJ Stroud just threw an interception to Kansas City, so the Chiefs have the ball.
Yeah, the Chiefs are giving the ball to Isaiah Pacheco, which you know what that means, 5, 6, 7 yards.
Nobody runs fast for 3 yards like in
Nobody puts
Isaiah
foot
Pacheco
in the ground like Isaiah Pacheco. Oh man.
Oh, they in the red zone. They definitely in the red zone now.
We've got all types of action today. Let's get into some of the headlines that are going on. Notre Dame did defeat Indiana 27-17 last night. Everyone that said put Indiana in. Notre Dame, they're bums. They lost to Northern Illinois. Today we got Penn State and SMU. We talked about that. Clemson in Texas today at 4. Then at 8:00, Tennessee, Ohio State. Like I said, the Tennessee-Ohio State game, it's like, who's a contender, who's a pretender? It seems like one of those teams is for real. I just don't know which one. We'll find out when they play tonight. Should be a lot of fun, though.
Man, it looks like Travis Kelce was probably thinking about Taylor Swift or something.
Yeah, he fumbled.
He had that ball, and he could have got a first down and a lot more. And I don't know. It looks like Taylor got in his head there.
No.
Now, you know what? We can't say that anymore.
Ooh, man. Guys are hit. No, he's okay. Nonetheless, the other NFL game today, Ravens-Steelers at 4:30.
Big game. A terrible towel.
If you're a Dolphins fan, you're hoping the Ravens lose because you need the Ravens to lose out. You need to win out and then have some other scenarios, which we're not going to get into. But
see, this is what I hate. See, even though I said we can't complain because Miami had a chance to win. But one thing I know is that Cam Wood would not have turned the ball over right there.
Talk about SMU just turned the ball over to Penn
He just
State.
threw a pass deflected by the DN and intercepted, and now Penn State has the ball, and pretty much this game might be over.
Okay,
now.
This is what I was thinking about when we were talking in the break. When it comes to the college football playoffs, selection, whatever Sunday or Monday, what the fans want is justice. They want the right team that deserves to get in. On this Friday, Saturday, we want the best matchups, not the justified teams to get in. Now you're saying SMU, they were justified to get in, but who would have been a better matchup against Penn State? Miami. It's like, man.
And
from week to week, it changes.
I hate that because I really didn't want to do that. But like watching this, it's like, the nostalgia. You could have like 2 great programs.
I would have rather seen Miami versus Notre Dame last night than Notre Dame versus Indiana. I mean,
I heard people say that also, but I don't think Miami would have wanted to lose to Notre Dame like that.
I think they would have been happy to. I would have been happy to be in the playoffs.
I don't think you want. Yeah, but I don't. There's certain. Hey, man,
they wouldn't have lost. They wouldn't have lost Notre Dame. There's no way the convicts lose to the Catholics.
They did. The Catholics always gonna. Come on, man. We'll get it. That's a deeper conversation. But nonetheless, you're starting to see this And if SMU, Indiana did not really play well last night, correct?
No.
Even though the score was not indicative of how dominant Notre Dame were against them. I believe if these next two games today don't go very well, then there's going to be a push for getting the dominant, prominent teams, programs to be in the playoffs next year, because Indiana doesn't look like they deserve to be in there over Alabama, and definitely not over Miami.
And if SMU gets
maybe
run
not
off,
even over Ole Miss. You know what I'm saying? And SMU right now is not looking too good.
right. And then it starts to get to be like, okay, like, is it about deserving? Is it about best matchup? What's it about? And that's the age-old question we always have. And it's kind of hard to feel. It's kind of where your team falls sometimes. But yeah, I definitely think that the Canes, it would have been nice to see a Notre Dame Miami matchup, a classic matchup on a Friday night. Oh man, that would have been fun.
You want to hear something funny? This was the first Notre Dame home game televised outside of NBC in over 30 years.
That's true. They've got that deal. Hey, nice. Heat last night didn't get it done against OKC, 104-97, but they have a quick turnaround. They're up in Orlando to play the Magic. That is a 7 o'clock tip-off here on 560 WQAM. Jimmy Butler, questionable after, depending on who you ask, flu-like symptoms. Maybe his ankle got twisted up a little bit. We don't know for sure, although it's reportedly flu.
I don't know. It's just weird, bro. It's just weird. It's like he sprained his ankle. He looked kind of hobbled, and then all of a sudden he's not coming back due to illness. And it's like, well, illness? It looked like he sprained his ankle. It didn't look like he was sick. He didn't look like he wanted to barf.
With all things considered this year, and I'm going to ask you guys this, all things considered, availability, stats, everything, is Jimmy Butler so far in this part of the season the third best player on the Heat?
No. He's still by far, I think he's the second best player. I think right now Tyler Hero has overtaken him based on at least over the last month of what we've seen in Tyler Hero. I mean, he's just grown exponentially this year, especially in points per game. I mean, he's averaging the most points per game he's ever averaged. I believe he's shooting at the best percentage and best three-point percentage that he's ever had. And not only that, he's finding guys and making plays for his teammates. And we're seeing that game after game after game. Now, Jimmy Butler, to me, when he plays, he has shown up some games. But there's other games where, he's only getting 18 points and a few. And then you've got games like yesterday where we don't even know what happened. Yeah. Apparently he was sick. I thought he got traded, but
well, I mean, if you're at the arena and all of a sudden Jimmy's out of the game and not even on the sidelines, you got to be like, wait a second.
No, dude, thank God my price pick got rebooted. Because one thing about the Hard Rock, if he started, he started. They're not going to reboot it. Price picks will reboot if somebody's sick or gets hurt. But the Hard Rock bet, nah, you lost that. If you had Jimmy 15.5, you lost.
Yeah,
the minute he got hurt.
No, yeah, you don't have to remind me.
No, that's what I'm saying. So it's very weird because they had days off, and you always said that if Jimmy had days off, this is when Jimmy's gonna show and play, and definitely get more interest out there if he is in the trade market. Now I'm looking at these next 3 games, bro, and going to get to an Orlando team that doesn't have their 3 leading scorers, you can't lose that game. And they're also a team that's ahead of you in a tight Eastern Conference, at least between 3 and 7. Then you got the Nets. They don't have anything, but you can't lose to the Nets at home. And then you got Orlando again Thursday. You got to be 2-1 in these next 3 games.
Yeah, you do.
Well, and the good thing is if they are able to go 2-1, they'll basically move up into the 4th position or the 5th position. Right now, they're 6th in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, the Cavaliers at 24-4 and the Celtics at 21-6 are the top 2 teams. But other than that, from 3 to about 11, I mean, there's not a lot of games of separation in there. You're talking about maybe 6-7 games, and we still have more than half a season left, gentlemen.
Right.
So
the East is very, very congested outside of the top 2.
Absolutely. I have a random question for you guys, not to get off topic, but I'm curious because this is something that has been talked about a lot, at least in my personal chats and stuff. But I want to ask you guys about golf for a second. You guys mind if I ask you about golf?
Go ahead, man.
there's been an absolute just huge fight amongst baseball players and soccer players on who is the better golfer. Now, I'll tell you, last week in the KGO, you guys know I play in the Kendall Golf League.
True.
Oh, wait, baseball and hockey. I mean, what do you say?
Baseball and soccer players playing golf. Who's a better golfer? We had the Ryder Cup last week where we mixed, we basically did 10 baseball players, 10 soccer players. Soccer players came out on top. So, I'm curious to what you guys would think, knowing, soccer players that play golf, baseball players that play golf. What do you think who do you think is the better golfer, a baseball player or a soccer player?
My initial thought would be a soccer player would be better because maybe they're a little more compact. Maybe they're not as large and as lanky, but baseball players, some of them, they already got the swing that they've got down and the motions.
That's a good question.
But I'll probably go with a soccer player simply for, it just seems like the typical build of a soccer player is more conducive to the power and the control of playing golf.
That's a tough question because I got to do a whole deep dive into it. They both play on surfaces that's similar, so they can tell maybe how the grass, maybe how the ball rolls, whether it's a soccer ball, and people do know that. They know how this grass there's a divot here, something like that. They read the greens.
I got you on that one, man.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
I'm gonna go soccer player because they don't have to stay in practicing that long. Or baseball players, they're out there having batting practice. They're there for a long time. So soccer players have more time to practice.
So Jeff McNeil, baseball player for the New York Mets, I'm being told, also turned pro golf. So that's from my friend Seth right there. But I do know this about golf. We had our holiday party this past Wednesday.
I am terrible.
Golf in Pompano Beach. Vlad jumps in because he knows where this is going.
I am terrible.
Now, Daniel Solana, I know from what I hear, you're a very good golfer. I'm not going to lie. Your brother, Alejandro Solana, who you hear on the preheat later on tonight and post-game, he's got some good drives in there. Channing Crowder
is the best.
He's a pro. He's a pro athlete, but whoo!
And Hockman?
But he won't play me. Channing Crowder won't play me. We've talked. I've asked Alejandro to tell Crowder, hey, Crowder, let's play best ball. Let's play a scramble. You get your guy. I'll take my brother who calls himself Rory Solana.
He thinks he's great.
Rory Solana. This guy spends more time in the sand than David Hasselhoff did in,
Baywatch.
In Baywatch. Absolutely. So, he does have a great drive, my brother, but I'm putting it out there, Channing. This is the challenge of a lifetime right here. You got the Solana brothers against Channing, and a person to be named later. So the challenge is out there.
Definitely will not be me. I qualify everything.
Oh, it ain't Vlad either.
It ain't
Dan and Vlad.
I didn't take one swing because I don't know what I'm doing. I watched you, Vlad.
Oh, it was horrible.
I watched Jimmy from the Hawk and Crowder show, and I watched Grieper, who helps us out with the post game for the Dolphins. Man, you guys would make an awesome scramble team, man.
Well, here's the first thing, right? You can't hit the ball. You have to hit the ball off the tee.
Right.
That stinks. I don't want to hit the ball off the tee all the time. Just kind of want to hit it from where it is.
Okay, I'm just saying.
And then second, yeah, man, I have no aim. I have no aim, bro.
I'll hit up Top Golf with you guys. I'll give you a few points.
I have no problem. I will definitely go because we got a free membership, so I'm going every time.
But I will tell you where Vlad and Grieper and I did win.
At the bar.
Oh, yeah, baby. Big ups to Vlad, by the way, stepping it up at the end of the night, too, man.
Oh, yeah.
I for some reason, it didn't register that if you had multiple tickets, you could get multiple drinks. I was like, oh, the bar's about to close, and I've got like 3 tickets. And Vlad was like, order 3 drinks. I was like, I can't do that. And they're like, here you go. I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah. There was 3 good cold brews to go.
Vlad's got a couple signature moves. When we go out, he'll stand next to me with his arms crossed. And also sometimes he's known to multiply the Heinekens.
Oh, well, yeah. But I don't understand why people feel so afraid when my little skinny ass with my elbows crossed, like as if I'm like your biggest bodyguard.
I'm surprised you're a Heine guy.
Oh, of course.
I would have thought you like more IPAs, kind
Nah,
of like
bro.
Dan. Dan's more of an IPA guy. He likes the porters.
I'm a tree hugger. We love high. You know how we wake up.
All right. Heinies. Got it.
I
Yeah,
don't know how that goes. I love it all, though. I love it all. But yeah, so once again, we tell you don't believe all the stuff they tell you about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
What did he do?
He's got a bad knee. He just ran for 25 yards through the defense and scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Don't believe
Dude,
anything.
Let me tell you this: death, taxes, and Patrick Mahomes playing in a bad ankle going into the postseason.
Oh, last year, you probably listened all year. They're dropping passes, Vlad, and I said, don't listen to it. They're going to catch the passes and players are going to be fine. Whoop. This year, they're barely winning every game. Watch out, Patrick Mahomes.
And they're 13-1.
Yeah.
You know what it is? We're getting as my last point before we get going and get ready for this basketball game. The Chiefs are getting the Warriors treatment. They're getting Warrior syndrome. You know how we all love Steph in the beginning, and then now we're blaming Steph for ruining basketball right now. That's basically it.
Well, let's get it going, guys. We've got the Miami Heat tonight. We've got the Miami Hurricanes in just a few minutes. Daniel Solana, always love having you on the show. You're always welcome. Vlad, live it up. I'm Dan Day. This has been another edition of Sports Day on 560 WQAM. Later, slow.
Fools.
WQAM broadcasting live from the